battle winning at home so that we can stop existing and start living, actually doing what we want to do. And that's exactly what I want to talk about today. Because as entrepreneurs, so most of the time an entrepreneur becomes an entrepreneur because they want to have more freedom of time. You know, they want freedom of income, and they recognize that freedom of income, that you can't make more money where you work. You know, I mean, you can, but it's like you got to go through the boss. You got to ask for a raise. You're capped at a certain point, depending on certain things. Being an entrepreneur, you can literally give yourself a raise almost every day. But the problem is that what people say, okay, more income equals more freedom, because then I can start paying for things to free me up to do more and have more freedom of time with my family. Plus, they have this idea that being an entrepreneur, that you can just work whenever you want. And that's a little bit true, but really, you do have to treat it like a business. You have to put in the hours. You've got to work. Now, I don't work more than 30 hours a week. Right now, I'm working 24 hours a week. So basically, one day out of the week I work, if you added all the hours together. And I do that because I do understand, and I came to discover as I had my health issues of having a heart attack, or testicular cancer, and then heart attack, and then losing 40% of my kidney function, and then being diagnosed with young onset Parkinson's disease, all on top of the type 1 diabetes that I've had since I was a kid. All of those things, I came to understand that time management, or productivity is more about energy management, the way you manage your energy levels throughout the day, than it is about actually managing your time. And so I'm able to get more done in less time because I focus more on my energy levels and working. And I've talked about that in a previous video. But the idea that I want to talk to you about today is, people say, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want that freedom of time. I want what you have. I want to be able to be with my kids and take off for the week and do things that I want to do and not have to be beholden to anybody. I want that freedom of time. But then they get into what they're doing, and they seem to forget that was their why. That was the reason why they wanted to do, to quit working for someone else and become an entrepreneur. And here's the honest truth, guys. We do what we do. You do what you do because you love it, right? A job is not, you could love your job, but most people don't love their job. It's when it's quitting time, awesome. It's quitting time. Boom. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to talk about it. I'm done. Go home and turn on, shut off work mode, turn on family mode. I'm good to go. Not only that, but you have a boss. When you work for somebody, you have a boss. You have somebody, corporate, somewhere, somehow, they told you what your shift is. They said you start at 9 a.m., you end at 5 p.m., you get an hour lunch, whatever the case might be, right? So the idea is that you had structure from somebody else. You were doing things that you weren't necessarily passionate about. Maybe you were, but more than likely you weren't fully passionate, and you were doing it for the money. Now you're an entrepreneur and you're doing it. You have nobody telling you when to start and stop. That's you. You're the boss. You're corporate. So nobody is really telling you when to start or stop. You are doing things because you're passionate about them, because you love what you do. You've seen how it's changed your own life and you want to change somebody else's life. And then that's the third reason, is because you want to impact people. It's not about just getting a paycheck. It's about seeing the impact, the ripple effect, that you helping this person helped this person, helped this person. And you love that. And that's great. Those are all fantastic reasons. I am not bashing any of them. That's why I do what I do. That being said, here's the problem. When you're passionate about what you do, when you love seeing the impact, and you're getting money for it, you forget to tell yourself to stop working. You forget to stop working. You start 8, then 10, then 12, then 14, then 16-hour days. And before you know it, the very people that you said you want to be an entrepreneur for, that's your family, in case you forgot, hope you didn't, the very people that you said you want to be an entrepreneur for don't get to see you. The very people that you said, I want to do this so I have more time with them, they don't get you anymore. In fact, they had you more when you worked for the man. I don't know. It feels weird for me saying that, but they saw you more when you had a job, a job, than when you became an entrepreneur. And what you've done is you paint yourself into a corner of having another job. The problem is that you're the CEO. And when it's just you, the CEO stands for Chief Everything Officer. You're the social media marketer. You're the content creator. You're the sales and marketing department. You're the phone calls. You're the face. You're the back end. You're everything, right? So all of a sudden you are wrapped up doing this, and you start to lose passion. You start to get frustrated. You start to feel overwhelmed. Your family starts to feel frustrated. Now there's tension and resentment between you and your loved ones, because you're saying, I'm doing this for you. Can't you see that? You don't understand. And they're saying, we just want you. Don't you understand? What you retort with, but we need money if you want me to be with you to do things. And they say, we don't care about, right? So you go round and round, and before you know it, you guys are resenting each other. You're not understanding each other. You're everybody's missing out on the best parts of life, right? So how do we fix that? How do we solve that? Well, it comes back to, what is our purpose? What do we want to be? That's why when yesterday I talked about the purpose statement, and that's the idea, is we have to define first and foremost, what kind of a family person do we want to be? What kind of a relationship with others? What kind of a social relationships in the community do we want to have? What kind of health do we want to have? Because again, if you're working 16 hours a day, when do you have time to go to the gym, to get healthy, to have the energy to keep working? I mean, really, you start fighting against yourself. You're working backwards on your productivity instead of working forwards. And you might have some really great success for 4 or 5 years, maybe even 10 years, but then it's not sustainable, right? You can't keep it up. And that's what we want you to build, is a legacy business. And a legacy business requires somebody to keep it up, to keep going, to keep the business going. Even if you want to retire, my plan is to step out of my business in the next 10 years. I'm going to have someone else running it, but I'm still going to be involved. I'll be the chairman of the board, and I will still be the face. I'll still be the guy giving the speeches and traveling and doing the talking, but there'll be other people doing that too, so that I can spend more and more time with my family. Okay. But for me to get there, I have to make that a definition, and I have to define today what I have to do to get there. And I'll tell you, it's not doing more today. It really isn't. People think, well, if I sacrifice for 10 years, it'll all be worth it. But in those 10 years, how many baseball games did you miss? How many football games? How many swim meets? How many hugs? How many goodnight kisses? How many goodnight stories? How many family dinners? How many anniversaries, birthdays, holidays, Christmases, Halloweens? How many of those did you miss because you were so busy putting in the hours, and you've sacrificed? And now 10 years down the road, maybe you are free to spend time with those people, but they don't know you. They don't know you. They won't. How can they if you weren't around them for the last 10 years? You're as good to them as a stranger, the person who just drops off goodies every once in a while. How sad would that be, that your family wouldn't even know you? That they wouldn't even know who you are, and you wouldn't know them? Why would they even want to be around you at that point? But let's actually talk about the sad reality. The sad reality is that if we sacrifice for 10 years, we get addicted. We get addicted to the dopamine hits. We get addicted to the adrenaline rushes. We get addicted to the all-nighters, and thinking that that's what defines productivity. And what happens is we don't stop after 10 years. We keep doing that for the next 5, for the next 10, for the next 15, the next 20, until something forces us to stop, which is usually a very dramatic health issue. The studies that I've read shows that it's a health issue. It's literally the body forcing you to stop that causes people to stop. Not even the deterioration of relationships. People will just keep working right through the deterioration. In fact, they'll throw themselves doubly into their business because, well, the marriage is falling apart. Might as well spend even more time doing this. But when you're laid up in the hospital and you have no choice but to sit there, that's when people start to reevaluate. And unfortunately, that oftentimes means things are irreparable and you've gone too far down a road that you shouldn't have begun in the first place. So that's what I do, is I help people. I mean, that's why it's so important to have that vision first of what kind of a family person do you want to be? Even if you're single today, what do you ultimately want? Do you want to be the coolest uncle in the world that always has times for his nieces and nephews? Fine. If you say, I don't ever want to get married, don't want to ever have any of my own kids, fine. But define that and make that your North Star. Then everything you do in your business, every choice you make will be made based on that choice first, if that's what you want. Now, I know people that they have no kids, they have no family, their business is their baby, and that's fine. You're not for me and I'm not for you, and that's fine. All right. I'm not judging you. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying you do you. But for those that are struggling, for those that want to know how to build a business without giving up the good life, the real good life, which is family, for those who want to know how to create something to create impact in the world without losing their connection with the world in their home and without losing impact on the most important people in their life, which is their loved ones, that's what I do. That's who I'm for you. So I want you, here's my call to action. I'm just going to be straight up about it, not even hiding it. Call to action, send me a DM. I have the Purposepreneur Business Accelerator. That's what we do. We take you step by step on how to build a business, but ingrained in every step is how to do it without losing focus of your family, without spending more time doing things that are not necessary and doing things that drive you a wedge between you and your family. That's what we're there for. My whole system, yes, it's about building a business, but it's about building a business in less than 30 hours a week, building a 6-7 figure business in less than 30 hours a week so that you have more freedom of time with your family. So send me a DM. I am getting ready to launch it, I believe next Monday. So right after this weekend. So next week is when we're launching it. So keep a lookout for it. But send me a DM. I'll put you on the waiting list so you get early access to it. Maybe even over this weekend if at all possible, but you'll be the first ones. Guys, it is so important for us to have that twin win. We will change the world. You will change the world with your business, but you will save the world with your impact on your family. The way you raise your children is what's really going to change this world for the better. Your product, your service is going to help people, but the lasting change is going to come from the way you raise your children and the way you spend time with your family. So shoot me a DM or comment below. Say I'm in if you want to be part of the Purposepreneur Business Accelerator, where we start with purpose so that we can move forward with purpose and stay on target while having the twin win of succeeding in business while winning at home, so that we can stop existing and start living and being with those that we love. Let me know what you think. I'll see you guys next time, and thanks for stopping by today.